Hi everybody, welcome back at Tino Talks. So in my last video we were talking about the metaverse and we were just talking about what that means and what it actually is about. So let's get a little bit more deeper on this. But before we even move on, if y'all guys hear wind and all that nice stuff, that's because I'm actually outside. So before you move on, hit the subscribe button down there, hit the bell button, and don't forget to share. So guys, one of the things is we were talking about the metaverse, right? So let's recap a little bit. So the metaverse is more access to the government actually controlling your life, right? More access to telling the government exactly where you're at and exact location, what you do, what you're not doing, all that. And it's multiple times. But they want to make it seem like the metaverse is just for us to do multiple uses, right? Or we can do multiple things like cryptocurrencies and all that stuff, right? So if a lot of y'all don't understand what the cryptocurrency is, cryptocurrency is the electronic bank. That's what they're trying to do. So we're going to talk about electronic banks and everything going digitalized. This is what falls back to the metaverse, what we were just talking about. So the electronic bank, what these people are doing, what the government is trying to do is everything go digital. Oh yeah, y'all know where I'm heading, right? So it's going digital to the point where we're just being monitored, controlled by. For instance, they got a store, instead of, you can pull up in the drive-thru and say what you want and all that stuff. They're coming out with this store. So what they do is, it's kind of like online pick. It's like online picking, right? When you order something online, it comes to your car. This is an electronic store run by robots. I know a lot of you be like, what the fuck are you talking about? This store is run by robots. It setups and all that shit. The stocks and everything. So this store is supposed to be coming up pretty soon. I forgot the exact date when it's supposed to be coming, but we're gonna be putting out dates there and the description below about this electronic store. So anyways, the cryptocurrency is, it's electronic bank. So what they want to do is, I used the term in the last video. This term is how they say everything money grows on trees. It's because it does, because money is made by trees. So because it's paper. So what this is doing with the electronical is so they can manipulate you. So when they shut down, like they did with Russia was an experiment, shutting down their banks, electronic banks and other stuff. So Russia had no more access. So let's talk about why is this going on? Why is going electronic? So if you know what Russia and Ukraine, right? They're supposed to go into war and all that stuff. Everybody's war. Are we going to go to World War III and all that? Or are we going to a nuclear war? How things are going? No. What this is to raise up the fucking price and the fucking gas price. And so we can be going to the store and be like, hey, we're forced to buy electronic cars. That's what it was. But many of y'all actually pull up to the bullshit just like 9/11s. Don't worry, I'm gonna be talking about 9/11 bullshit in the next video. So what this happened was, we as people were told, hey, gas price is going up, and 4, almost 5, but not, and everybody was able to be like, hey, you know what? What's up with this bullshit? What's up with this bullshit? A lot of us was able to tell that, but it didn't work like that. A lot of people was like, yeah, we're not gonna fall into this shit. We're not gonna be doing this shit. We're not gonna be doing none of this shit. So I want y'all to see the reality it was going on, because they want. So we have an electronic car. This is the shit that people on the government don't tell you, right? The shit is, we get into a car. They can tell us how fast we can drive, when we can drive, and they can shut down our car manually. So all that shit. So that's the reason why they come in our electronic cars. So because they can remote control all these cars, and they can be like, oh. But here's the thing about the coronavirus, and it's also electronic. A lot of y'all were ready to fight. A lot of y'all were stepping up to fight the fucking war. A war that didn't belong to y'all. A war that, why you even going to this war that didn't even belong to you? A bullshit made a war so gas prices can go up. Even food is going up. Why? Because they want to keep us in the ruins and say, hey, we're going to spend our money and all that shit. Because they're trying to switch into everything. Electronic. That's why a lot of y'all, when you go up there, like let's say to a store, now that y'all keep swiping, giving all this motherfuckers all your money, hard work ass money, and you'll be like, oh, what happened? And that's what all this is and things is about. The CIA is involved. Everybody's involved on this shit. Everybody has to do with the government is involved in this shit. And you're all like, oh, what's going on? What's going on with this shit? So y'all are like, I don't know. So y'all need to realize what's going on here. So when we talk about all this going on, we're pointing out every single aspect. Like the 9/11. Let me hit the 9/11 bullshit. 9/11 is so we can get into Iraq, steal all the petroleum. It was all set up by the USA. USA went and pulled the trigger and placing a bomb in these twin towers and be like, hey, we're gonna blow up this shit up. We're going to Iraq. We're gonna tell the people they got massive destruction weapons and all that shit. And so that you can steal the petroleum and be like, hey, yep, y'all are the only ones that are doing it. Now but Russia shit never happened. It's going on. Yep, they be like, oh, this shit like that. Here's the thing about news. The news, they can pull up all footage. This shit's going on, all that shit. They can pull up all that shit. They can add it so quickly. They don't even know that shit. They look so real. So fucking aspect they can play it out. Oh, don't get me wrong, because that's a lot of shit they probably wonder, be like, hey, wondering why a lot of people don't even pull it out, because every single person can pull up to the bullshit. But every single car that's going electronic, just like Tesla's car, that's motherfucking electronic, that's controlled by the government. Yes. Elon Musk is with the government. Everybody has Elon Musk as a hero. Elon Musk is their favorite. He is with the government. He ain't no better. He's making all this. He's the first one testing out and making sure all this car is working. Now everybody's having the same technologies. Come on now. Someone else's name, which is Nicholas Tesla. So everybody be like, oh, Nikola Tesla came out with this shit. Nikola Tesla did that. No, what happened was Nikola Tesla did the only dirt. All right. guys, so let's continue talking about what's going on. Let's recap. A lot of people don't know this, but the government wants you to believe there actually was going to happen a war. This whole thing goes but the metaphors. So the reason what's going on with the whole Ukraine and Russia thing is so to manipulate you guys. So y'all be like, so they raise up the price gases, So you'll be like, oh yeah, I have to go and buy a car, electronic car. But the electronic car ain't doing shit. It gonna do shit for you. You know why? Because they can control the speed limit. Yes, they can control the speed limit where they be like, oh, you know what? You only can go 60 miles per hour. We can shut it down. We can control when the car is operator. So, guys, and this is one of the biggest things too. It also it falls back under the cryptocurrency, guys. This is one of the biggest things, guys. They can control your money and all that shit. This happens during the Great Depression. Actually, happened during the Great Depression, when they took all people's money. So when you guys actually, be like, I want to invest in buy coin and all that shit. It's, electronic banking. When it's electronic banking, they can take your money without you even fucking noticing. Yeah. To the point, this happened during the Great Depression, where people, they shut down the system and took everybody's money. And now it can happen again during the Russia, because they did it to Putin. Putin was an experiment to see how effective it was. So that's why they were like, oh, we can control this, we cannot control this shit, we can all do that shit. So it's like we have to be more mindful. We need to be more careful. To the point, they even have an electronic store now, where you can just, when you take it in and just drive up, and they be like, yo, just ask what you want, and that's it. What you think they came up with robots? They coming up with all that shit. It's to put us in accuracy, so it be like control our daily lives. I know it sounds crazy, guys, but this is just happening right now as we speaking. That's about the whole point of the metaverse, because they can control multiple shit. Tesla was the first test about these cars, and when Tesla actually tested it and it actually was a success, now everybody had the same concept and the same manufacturing, just different brand names. Because Tesla was the first experiment. They experiment a lot, just like Ukraine and all that shit. So Ukraine and Russia was to distract you. Y'all were like, oh, we're gonna go to war. So now they go like, oh, we're gonna go to war. Are we gonna go to a nuclear war? Are we gonna go to World War III? See how shocking? And they know that shit's gonna wrap you up. So y'all be gonna focus on that shit. Why you think y'all motherfuckers did that shit die out so quickly? Because a lot of that y'all motherfuckers pull out. This shit even got exposed by media from Russia. There's no war. Don't believe that shit. That's why, guys, it's important. It's important for you guys to be on point, be and pay attention. Even the fucking CIAs and all that shit, don't do this shit. Phones and all that shit is some manipulation. Every time you buy that new phone and all that shit, they got more access to controlling your life, more access to controlling what you do, what you hear, what you talking about, what you doing. And you will notice with Google, when you mention, I want to get married, it pops out the first motherfucking shit in your sections. This is all part of the motherfucking test. So these members been out here, they just release it to your public, because y'all know they're gonna be like so hype up and all that shit about metaverse and all that game systems, all that shit. You guys are just getting the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning. When y'all be like, you know, y'all come out and be like, hey, you know what, let's talk about, let's, you know, this is the new shit, the new iPhone, all that shit. Everything they say, they fixing the bug. It's because something went left with this shit. Everything they say, this is the new freaking game system. It got Blu-ray and all that shit. It's a different, it's the use. So like, keyboards to manipulate you. Metaverse has been out here for the longest. I mean, not only with your games thing, you can play music, you can do different shit. That's metaverse. Now they put into the physical world. Yeah, metaverse was out for a long ass motherfucking time. Y'all motherfuckers just be like, what? That's metaverse? Yeah. That's what every single fucking electronic car, even the cars I mean now, is part of that shit. Because they be an experiment. So when y'all talk, so when y'all be like, yeah, when y'all thinking y'all getting a nice electronic car, you're saving gas. No, y'all giving access to the car to control you, and that's what the cars are for. That's what the cars are being used for. Because now they can control your speed and everything. We all think they pushing the agenda for the robots. This electronic, that's what the electronic cars are being. Because they want to be having control, taking your rights little by little. This is just being everything. But they actually don't know shit. They ain't know what fucking shit you do. Like, to the fact, to the point, they know your next move before you make the next move. That's what the electronic cars, just another way to get you guys topics. Cars are being used as engines. That's what they guess. That's why they give frustrated with the gas cars, because they don't got much control. So guys, we're gonna be talking about the shadow government in the next video. So stay tuned. This shit's getting fucking real. Cause that shit, this happening right now, is just beginning. We're just in the tip of the iceberg. See you next video, guys. This was Tino. And don't forget, this was Tino Talks. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So you guys and hit that bell button so you guys know more of my videos. This shit's getting fucking real, guys. See you next time.